So what is an arm's length transaction? What's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberland? Coming back to you with another educational video, and this one is going to be really just delving with real estate in regards to when somebody intends to buy or somebody intends to sell, just who belongs to which party and what is their job. And it's called arm's length transaction. And what it is just to say that everybody knows their role, everybody knows what they're doing, and there's no hidden agenda or somebody's withholding information. Example, I am the seller's agent. I am helping sell my client's property, and that's it. I work for my seller. I don't work for the buyer. I don't have the buyer's contact information. I don't have their email. Anything that is discussed with the buyer is discussed with the buyer's agent. I do not talk to the buyer. The only time we might have a discussion or say hello to each other is when there happens to be an inspection of the home, if I have to be present. And the same thing goes for my buyer, or I mean my seller. They do not just talk with the buyer's agent. They don't have a discussion with them unless it's during the inspection, but most of the time the agents are doing the talking and the lenders are doing the talking, and the escrow is disclosing information that needs to be disclosed or handing out documents, or the transaction coordinator is making sure documents on both ends are being signed, whether it's the buyer's transaction coordinator or the seller's transaction coordinator. There's a lot of checks and balances in place. The reason for that is for a couple things. Number one, I want to make sure that everybody who is selling and is buying is not being forced to, is not being coerced to. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly what they're signing, and they know exactly what they're getting into. There's no somebody holding them at gunpoint or some type of extortion or blackmail or anything. They're not under stress or duress to purchase a property or sell it. They know exactly what the terms are. They know exactly what the contract is. They know what they're doing. So nobody can come back later and try to sue and try to say, well, I sold this property because the seller's agent forced me to. No, I didn't. I told you what it was. I told you, now that you're putting your home on the market, this is what you need to be aware of. If we find a buyer and we go into escrow, you can't just change your mind and say, I don't want to sell to them because I don't want to sell to them. You can't do that. Same thing if I was on the buyer's side. Okay, just so you know, you put an offer in. If it is accepted and we move the inspection contingency and the appraisal contingency and the loan contingency, remove all those three, you're obligated to buy this home. If you do not buy this home, that security deposit that you put in, the initial deposit, you forfeit it. That means the sellers are going to be entitled to that because you wasted their time. Are you aware of that? And they say, yeah, okay. Okay, so you do understand that, and I will constantly remind you during the transaction, okay, move the inspection, you still have the appraisal and loan. Everything good? Yeah, okay. The appraisal's been removed. We only have one contingency left. Any issues? No, I just want to get this thing done. Okay. The loan's been removed. We had you sign it. We're good to go. Yeah, we're good. All of a sudden, 2 days later, Chris, I don't think this is going to work. I can't buy this house. No, you have to buy this house. No, I don't want this house anymore. I don't want it. I'm not going to buy it. Okay. Well, this is what's going to happen because you removed the contingencies. You knew exactly what you're walking into. The seller is going to keep your deposit. No, they're not. Yes, they are. You were not under duress. You were stated the information. You were told what was going to happen if you didn't follow through on protocol. Flip that coin. That's the same thing for the seller. You cannot say you're not going to sell your property now because you don't want to, and you sign a contract saying that you're going to sell the property if a buyer is willing to buy it. You can't do that. And trust me, even though I say you can't do that, people try to do it all the time. But then you can be financially sued and financially held on the hook if that's what you want to do. It's not worth it. But the arm's length transaction, that's what it's for. It's to say that everybody knows what their job is. Well, I don't want to say everybody knows what their job is. They should know what their job is. However, what it means is that nobody's being forced to do their job. They're not under duress. They know exactly what they're supposed to do and what they're signing and what the purpose of them, the documents that they're signing, what they're for. That's the whole point. So nobody can come back later and try to sue and say that that's not what happened, when exactly that's what it was. That's the terminology and that's what it's used for. I have yet to personally deal with that. However, I do know two different cases where a agent that I know, he had worked with this couple for over a year to sell their home, and they decided that they no longer wanted to sell the home, but they had a buyer. And not only that, but they decided that they wanted somebody else to sell the property. So pretty much they had the agent do all the work and they were trying to pay somebody else the commission. And he was going to take them to court. And then, of course, they ended up having to sell. And he had to get the cops there to make sure that they were out of the home, so the buyers had the home. That was a big mess, but he dealt with it. And I had another situation, not me, but another person, a buyer, where all parties knew each other. However, the seller's client decided at the last minute to they didn't want to sell the home and they weren't going to leave. Of course, all documents were signed. Escrow was literally closing in about 48 hours. And the seller was finally told that if you do not leave, if you do not relinquish the property, you will not only be sued, but you're going to be held liable for damages every day you stay in this home. And this was literally a case of the seller's client just was crazy and just wanted to be difficult and be a problem, even though they signed every single document stating they were selling the home. I have yet to deal with that personally, and hopefully, I hope I never have to. However, I have heard stories of it. With that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.